In 1973, Ford put a car on the market they knew would catch fire. An internal memo said an $11 fix would have saved lives. They didn't make the fix. Today, Ford. Welcome back, Mac here. Today we open the Ford glove box. 122 years, 15 million Model Ts. Let's go. 1903, Detroit. Henry Ford incorporates with $28,000. A farm kid from Dearborn. Mechanic since age 15. He didn't invent the car. He invented the way to build it. 1903 Model A, 8 horsepower, sold for $850. They sold 1,700 of them. 1908, the Model T 5 years later. $825 at launch. By 1925, $260, 1913. The moving assembly line. Build time per Model T drops from 12 hours to 93 minutes. 1914, the $5 day. Double the going wage. 10,000 men line up outside Highland Park the next morning. By 1927, half the cars on Earth were Model Ts. 15 million made. One car, sold for 19 years. May 26, 1927. The last Model T rolls off. Henry Ford had refused to change the design for 19 years. Sales were collapsing. By 1932, Ford launches the V8. The cars get fast. The brand gets cult. 1932, the Flathead V8, first affordable 8-cylinder in America. 65 horsepower for $490. 1934, Clyde Barrow, yes, that Clyde, writes Henry Ford a fan letter. Quote, "For sustained speed and freedom from trouble, the Ford has got every other car skinned. Marketing dream, endorsed by a bank robber, 1948. The F-Series launches, first purpose-built pickup truck in America. 77 years later, still number one, 1955, the Thunderbird, America's first personal luxury car. 16,000 sold in year one. Ford expected 10,000, April 17th, 1964. The Mustang launches at the New York World's Fair, 22,000 orders the first day, 400,000 in the first year. The Mustang on the cover of Time and Newsweek the same week. Yakoka becomes a household name. Ford has its first cult car since the Model T. Here's the Empire era, Rouge Plant, 250,000 Americans on Ford payroll, plants in a dozen countries. The Rouge Complex, River Rouge, Michigan, 93 buildings, 120 miles of conveyor, 110 miles of railroad track. They mined the iron, smelted the steel, pressed the body, bolted the engine, drove the car off the line, all on the same site. Peak U.S. employment, 256,000 in 1978. Today, about 177,000 worldwide. 1973 revenue, $23 billion. That year, they make the Pinto. By 1979, Ford has plants in 28 countries. German Cologne, British Dagenham, Australian Geelong. A real empire, Henry Ford II, grandson of the founder, ran the company from 45 to 79. Brought in McNamara, killed the Edsel, approved the Pinto. Yeah, about that. Pause. Which badge do you want next? Drop one. We pick from the comments next week. Now we get to the part nobody at the press junket likes. File this one under. Things they'd rather you forget. 1957. The Edsel. Ford spends $250 million developing it. In today's money, about $2.7 billion. Killed after 26 months. 118,000 sold. Target was 200,000 per year. Biggest brand launch flop in American automotive history. Until then. 1971. The Pinto. Compact, cheap, $2,000. Designed to beat the Japanese imports. 3,000 engineers, 25 months, on budget. Here's the problem. The fuel tank sits behind the rear axle. In a rear-end collision over 20 miles per hour, it can rupture. Crash tested before launch. Failed 11 of 11 impact tests. 1973, internal Ford memo. Cost-benefit analysis. $11 per car to add a plastic shield to the tank. versus an estimated $49 million payout for projected lawsuits over fatalities. Their press release said safety first. Court documents said $11 wasn't worth it. 1978, Grimshaw versus Ford Motor Company. Jury awards Richard Grimshaw, burned over 90% of his body in a Pinto rear-end fire, $125 million in punitive damages. June 1978. Ford recalls 1.5 million Pintos and Bobcats, 27 confirmed deaths. 6 years after the memo. 5 years after the first known fatality. Ford versus Ferrari, Le Mans, 1966. The receipts, 1963. Henry Ford II tries to buy Ferrari for $10 million. Enzo backs out at the last minute. Calls Ford executives pig-headed. Ford goes home humiliated. Henry Ford II calls Shelby, says, build a car to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. Project budget, an estimated $8 to $10 million. 1964, they crash. 1965, every Ford retires. Ferrari wins both years. June 1966. 3 GT40s cross the line 1, 2, 3. First American manufacturer to win Le Mans. Ferrari finishes 8th. Ford wins Le Mans 4 years straight. 66, 67, 68, 69, 1980. Different fight. GM controls 45% of the U.S. market. Ford controls 18%. Japanese imports are taking the rest. By 2006, Ford is bleeding billions. Things were about to get close. 2008, things got close. 2006, Ford loses $12.7 billion in 1 year. Worst loss in the company's history. September 2006. Bill Ford hires Alan Mulally from Boeing. Mullally's first move. Mortgage everything. Buildings, patents, the Blue Oval. November 2006. Ford borrows $23.6 billion against every asset they own. 2 years before the crash hits. 2008. GM and Chrysler take the federal bailout. Mulally tells Congress Ford doesn't need it. They have the money. They mortgaged it themselves. Q3 2009. Ford reports a $1 billion profit. Only Detroit automaker, not on the taxpayer. They didn't stay down. 2015. Ford ships the F-150 with an aluminum body. First mass-market truck ever to do it. Saves 700 pounds. Critics said it would never sell. The F-Series is the best-selling truck in America. 48 straight years. 2024 sales. Over 900,000 units. 2021. Ford brings back the Bronco. 200,000 reservations in 2 weeks. Killed the nameplate in '96. Resurrected it for a generation that grew up watching their dads drive one. 2024 revenue, $185 billion. 177,000 employees worldwide. Market cap as of recording, about $53 billion, 1/10 of Tesla. Tesla doesn't make trucks, yet. Here's what they're betting the company on now. The F-150 Lightning, May 2022. The F-150 Lightning ships, electric pickup truck, same Rouge complex Henry Ford built. 200,000 reservations in launch year. 2021 through 2026, Ford announces $50 billion in EV investment. 3 new battery plants, 1 in Tennessee, 2 in Kentucky. 2024. Ford cuts Lightning production in half. Demand softer than projected. EV losses run $5 billion that year. Ford pivots. Doubles down on hybrids. Maverick hybrid, Escape hybrid, F-150 hybrid. The bet becomes Bridge, 122 years. From a Detroit shed to the world's 7th largest car maker. Still family controlled through Class B shares. Top 5 numbers from today. 15 million Model Ts. 27 confirmed Pinto fatalities. $11 per car. The fix they didn't make. 48 years of F-Series at number 1. $50 billion now bet on electric. If you got this far, you're already 1% deeper into car history than 99% of drivers. Hit subscribe. Mac out.